Hello and welcome to another video lesson in the Data Science Bootcamp with Dive Africa. So, in this video lesson, we'll be talking about tech careers in the data field. Listed here are a few tech careers that are common in the data field. We have the data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, business intelligence analyst, business analyst, risk analyst, marketing analytics manager, data governance, data visualization engineer. So, this sounds like big names, but what exactly are the job roles and job descriptions of these tech roles? Let's dive into that quickly. A data analyst. A data analyst collects, clean, analyze, and study data to find useful information to make informed decisions. They answer the questions why and what happened. So, let's break it down. If you've watched your previous lesson videos, I'd said in those videos that we collect data from various sources. You could collect data from the internet, surveys, and what have you. After these data are collected, like we know, data comes to us in a raw form, which might or might not make any sense to you in that state. So a data analyst cleans the data, takes down repetitions, redundancy, just make it better than it was in its raw state. Then analyze this data, make sense of it, notice trends, notice patterns, study this data to make useful information and make informed decisions. And so, what are the tools that a data analyst makes use of? Basically, a data analyst major tools are SQL, Excel, Power BI, or Tableau. Some data analysts take it a notch higher and learn Python, but that's not compulsory. Now, data scientist. A data scientist has a similar role to that of a data analyst, but a data scientist goes deeper. It takes it a notch higher by building predictions and models using advanced statistics and machine learning to make such predictions about the likelihood of occurrences in the future while making use of historical and present data to build such model. Sounds like a lot going on there. Let's break it down. So, as a data scientist, you have similar roles to that of a data analyst, but you just take it a bit higher or a notch higher by building prediction models. Let's take an example of people that love the game of soccer, football, as it is generally being called. If you notice that there are people that are sport analysts and they make prediction on this team when paired with this team has a higher chance of scoring against this team. What do you think make them come to this conclusion? Now, it is because there's been a trend, there's been a pattern that when a certain team A is paired with a certain team B, they have a greater chance of winning. Maybe, just maybe, because Team B has weaknesses that Team A has complemented for in their team. Or there's a certain lineup that Team A has of its players that gives it advantage over Team B. These are data that has been noticed and stored over time. So now let's bring it to what a data science will do with that such data. A data science will make not just assumptions now, but informed predictions using training models by doing Team A is paired against Team B, and Team A has a lineup of these players as their starters, and Team B has a lineup of these players. Each player in each team has their game time, has the number of goals they scored per season. They have their weaknesses, they have their strength. Using this data, comparing this data, we're able to make predictions that okay, if you put certain players to start a game for certain team and they are being paired with certain team, there are great chances for of let's say team A scoring against team B. But if certain players do not play for team A against team B stands a greater chance of most likely not allowing them score a goal, thereby going home on an equal base, or even scoring a goal against them. So these predictions are being made because of data that are being provided using the strength, the weaknesses of these players. They use it to train these models. Let this model know that in situations where these circumstances are in place, we should expect these results. But what happens when these circumstances are not fulfilled? We expect these results. But these things are being done using advanced statistics and machine learning. So a machine is being taught, is being trained that putting certain situations and circumstances in place, we're expecting these results. That is basically, in a very simple way, what a data scientist does. Moving on, a data engineer. A data engineer design and maintain the systems and pipeline that store and move data so other data professionals such as data analysts and data scientists can use it and make their work easier. Data comes to us in different types and formats. You can equate the work of a data engineer to that of a building architect. When you have a land and you want to build a structure, you invite an architect who draws a plan and knows that for this land, for this quantity of land, and the idea you have, this is the best way to put the structure in place. Tells you where to put the toilet, tells you where to put the bathroom, tells you the number of rooms that are making sense to be on this property, tells you how the doors should be placed, how the windows should be placed. That's the same way a data engineer works. It builds a system and a pipeline that stores different data types. The way you store an everyday transaction data is not the way you would store a batch data that comes in, let's say, once a week. So it is the job of a data engineer to understand the nature and the frequency of your data and build a pipeline and a system that best stores it in its format and in a way that it is easier for other data professionals to access and make use of. Now, on to the next. Business intelligence analyst. A BI analyst make use of dashboard, charts, and reports to help companies monitor performance and make better informed decisions for the growth and development of their organization. From the word business intelligence analyst. This is let's say a niche, let me call it a niche, coined from data analysts. Now, a BI analyst a business analyst, business intelligence analyst helps make use of dashboard charts, report to help companies monitor performance and make better informed decisions for the growth and development of their organization. As a business and intelligence analyst, it is a niche coined from a data analyst. So this is like a specialization. This job role focuses majorly on businesses. This job role entails working with the data of businesses, making informed decisions for those organizations such that they know what is working, what is not working, and use those information to make decisions that would help in the growth and development of the organization. Now, a business analyst. A business analyst and a business intelligence analyst are very similar in roles. But now, like I said, these are all niches. A business analyst study business processes and figure out improvement or technology that can be applied for the growth of the business. So, unlike a business intelligence analyst that just gives them the insight they had gotten from data, a business analyst goes a little bit further and bring about strategies and processes that these businesses can apply for the growth and development of the organization. Now, risk analyst, from the word risk analyst, they help us or they help mitigate risk, helps reduce risk. A risk analyst assess risk, could be financial, operational, or technical risks in a business and suggest ways to reduce them. Mitigation, help manage risk. We can relate them to a risk management officer, but now in the data sense. Marketing analytics manager, they analyze customer data and marketing campaigns and strategies to figure out what works for a company's customer base for lead generation and customer retention. A marketing analyst manager, and from what the name implies, helps a company study marketing campaigns, marketing strategies, and methods that they had applied to their customer base and help them know what is working, what needs to be improved, what needs to be trashed, what needs to be worked upon, or let's even say new campaigns or new strategies that needs to be implemented to retain the customer base they have already and to also generate leads that eventually become their own customer base. Data governance. Data governance, this job role entails ensuring data is accurate, data is secure, and data is used responsibly. Sounds funny, right? Yes. This is like let's call it the mini data police. Yes. It is more than data is more than just getting data from any source and using it for whatever you want to use it for. There are rules and regulations and guidelines that governs usage of data. I want to, I'm sure that a lot of us would want to, like, let's say, enroll in an app, or let's say just make use of a service of an app. You see them have terms and conditions and guidelines of what they would use your data to do. Some will tell you, oh, when you click I accept this condition, it allows us to share your data with third party. I think Google has that. Google has a situation where when you click a certain button, they're allowed to share certain information, and then they would list what kind of information of yours that they have that they would share with a third party app. Let's say you're linking Google to Facebook. They have certain information of yours that Google has that Google is allowed to share with Facebook. If they share outside the agreements they had signed with you, you're allowed to sue them and fine them. These are data governance rules and regulations. So, as a data governance officer person, your responsibility is to make sure that data you're providing or data that is being provided is accurate, data is secure, and it is used responsibly, because a lot of times you are being privy to have first-hand information of people's very confidential and sensitive data. This is like our Nigerian system. You have sometimes you're privy to have access to someone's BVN, NIN, just because of the nature of what you do in your company. And do you think it is fair to anyone, because you're a data person, for you to use this very sensitive and confidential information anyhow? No. So this is where the job role data governance comes in. Last but not the least, the data visualization engineer. Data visualization engineer design interactive charts, dashboards, and tools to make complex data easy to understand. Think of them as the graphic designers of data. When if you're being presented with, let's say, tables and columns, as a layman, you might not necessarily understand what is going on. But when you're being presented with a bar chart or a pie chart or an Instagram chart, you can see trends, you can see patterns, you can see one bar is higher than other, even without being explained or without this chart being explained to you. You could just derive an understanding, maybe not totally, but like there's a basic understanding you would have, saying, oh, this bar looks higher than the other, this looks smaller than this. So is that gives you like a basic insight of, oh, it looks like at this category there maybe there's more population, there's less population. These are one of the things that data visualization engineers do. They make those complex numbers, figures, text, what have you, into very appealing to the sight chart dashboards that a regular person can easily understand.